Okay, so we'll try to automate the task, okay, which we used to do in the early days. Okay, that's like the data ingestion we used to do using a Hadoop ecosystem that is called Sqoop. Okay, and after that, once the data is ingested to Hadoop file system, we used to use our analytical ecosystem that is Hive to run analytical queries on top of HDFS. So first I'll try to show how to implement this manually. Once we have implemented manually, then we will try to move to the second phase, that is trying to automate this, and after that we'll try to parameterize this. Okay, so that's like the end goal of this demo. As I said earlier, okay, if we are not able to complete this entire parameterization of shell script by today, hopefully we'll try to connect tomorrow and we'll take it from there. Okay, so that is what my plan is. So this is the scenario. Okay, so what they are trying to say is, okay, this is the requirement they have given us. Okay, they are asking us get the below output using Sqoop. Okay, and there is a database. What they are saying is retail database, and write the data to HDFS. So Sqoop is a data ingestion tool, so that's what like it is. So it will be picking the data from any of your RDBMS and ingesting the data into HDFS. Okay, so what happens in projects, we have different paths which are available. So I have just tried to mimic that scenario, like we write the outputs to output directory, parameter or configs to that directory, whatever scripts we develop we keep in scripts directory, whatever the SQL queries we write and we use in HQL or SQL queries we write in that, we try to again use it in your script. Okay, so we keep it over here. So that's how like it is used. Okay, so at the end, like this is what are the expected. So let me get started. Okay, so what we will do is first, okay, so I have just opened my VM and kept it appropriately so that everything is ready. So here at this location, okay, if I execute a simple Unix command, that is pwd, I'm at this location, and if I do long listing, there is nothing over here. So I've cleaned up my environment, everything. So what I'll do, I'll execute all my Sqoop commands manually initially over here. Okay, this is my config directory. So when I'll start implementing the scripts, I'll keep the parameters over here. So I will start building the shell script after the manual implementation. Okay, this is your database which they were telling. So retail database, so we have 6 tables over here, and finally this is your Hive. Okay, so I've kept open everything so that we'll not invest time in opening all these things. Okay, cool. So as the first question says is, okay, so we need to ingest the data from retail database using Sqoop. Nowadays we use Spark, but again, like just to show a scenario in the early days how we used to do, I'm just trying to implement this. So here we are trying to pick the data from retail database. Now if you see in the output, okay, so we have category. The first 2 columns belongs to category, the second 2 columns belongs to product. Now again, like once you are in the project, okay, definitely you will be given like data dictionary language. Okay, you analyze the tables, whatever tables are available. Okay, you try to find out which columns belong to which tables. Okay, all these analysis goes on, okay, at the initial stage. Even if you are moving into the project in between, so it's your, again, like after the KT, it becomes your responsibility to understand what tables belongs to what are their categories and what columns they involve, what is their relationship. Again, like we need to identify all those things by playing. Okay, so the same thing I'll try to do over here. Okay, as the name suggests, okay, so I guess I'm assuming like categories table and products table will be involved, okay, in this implementation. Okay, so that's what like I am understanding. Okay, so simply what I can do is simply I can just describe that table so that I'll get to know what are the columns available inside that. So I have 3 columns over here, and similarly the second table which I feel, okay, looking at this, so this could be the 2 tables from which I need to derive the data or import the data. Okay, so now this is the first table. If I see category ID over here and the second table is products over here, Okay, I understand, like by looking at this columns, again we need to validate the data also. Because of the time crunch, okay, I am just moving ahead, otherwise we do lots of analysis, okay, lots of things, so that will be taken care ahead. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to make things that, like, okay, this is the column from products table and this is the column from categories table, which I will be making use of to join these two tables, okay, fetch the data, and then finally I will execute the scoop command. So if I just maximize the, okay, let's not maximize, so this is what they are looking. Okay, so I'll just work on the first solution. Okay, so let's say I'm just writing solution 1. So what we need to do is we need to fetch columns. Okay, so I'll pick, so in the output, if you see, what are the columns we required category ID, category name, product price, and tax, and these are coming from two tables. So I'll just give a table alias to categories table, okay, and I'll take category ID, then I'll take category name. These are the two tables, sorry, these are the two columns which are coming from categories table. Similarly, I have my product, okay, so I'll take product price and I will take product image. So all these 4 columns which I required. Initially what you can do is you can do sampling, okay, by applying a asterisk, okay, applying a join, and then you can analyze what are the columns required, or do you need to derive some column by joining 3-4 columns and applying some logic on that and finally getting a derived column. So it's all based on the requirement. Okay, everything is based on requirement. It's not like, again, like straightforward, so lots of analysis goes behind. Okay, so here I'm trying to take these four columns from the two tables. Okay, so those two tables are nothing but, let me just write a from clause. So those two tables are nothing but my categories. Okay, and I've given a table alias, let's use that, and let me use my products. Let me give a table alias over here as well. Okay, then I'll try to apply a where clause. As we have seen, okay, so there will be a category ID equals to the p dot product category ID, right? That was the column name. Yeah, this was the column name. So let me quickly do a copy paste so that there will be no typo error. So I'm just trying to take this pseudo query, which is a simple draft query, and I'll try to execute this whether I'm getting the result or not. I'm just trying to evaluate. So if you see, after joining these two tables, I'm getting 1300 rows. Okay, but at the output, okay, what they are expecting is only 2 rows. So again, now I need to do analysis. What are they looking for? Okay, so please be on mute because this recording will be given to everyone. So again, like, it will be a good thing. I'll straight away remove if you're like, again, like, not muted. Okay, so now again you need to do analysis because out of the two we just wanted to. So now you need to think, okay, so what is there, what I want. Okay, if I look at this output, okay, there are so many things which is there, like 1300 rows, but how I will narrow my search to the 2 rows. So if you see, like, products are like MLS. Okay, so again, if I just scroll a little down, okay, so I think, like, yeah, here also it is MLS. Okay, if I just scroll, keep scrolling, like, again, like, you just need to do, here we have NHL, here we have NBA. Okay, so if I analyze similar to that, I can see the category name is NFL, so I can apply a where clause. Okay, I've already applied. Let's add this condition also. So let's add a and condition. Okay, so what I'll try to do, I'll try to add a add condition. So sorry, and condition. So let's say c dot, and the column name is nothing but my category name. Okay, and I'll just try to pass that value, and inside the inside the table the data is case sensitive, so we just need to take care of that. So I just missed, let me just quickly copy this, let me clear off the screen, right click, execute this query. So if you see, now the search got narrowed from 1300 rows, I got 24 rows now. Okay, but still that is not what my output is. Okay, my output, it needs to be only 2 rows. So now if you need to see whether, like, again, like, is there any filtration on price or something, but as I have created this scenario, okay, I know like, okay, so what I have done is I have applied a pattern on the state county, that is Pittsburgh. Okay, so that will again come based on the requirement. I'm just saying, okay, so these are the requirements which I have created. So once we start with the training, similar kind of like assignments would be given to you. So what I'll do is, okay, so here again I'll try to apply an AND clause, okay, and what I'll do is from the product image, okay, so I'll try to apply a pattern matching, okay, using like percent and simple, let's say, and I'll just do quick copy paste just to be at the safer side. And let me quickly fetch this query. Let me clear off the screen and let's see what happens. Beautiful. So now if you see, we are able to fetch only 2 rows. That is what we were expecting. Okay. So out of the data, okay, so first I applied a normal join, okay, and again like it will depend based on what kind of join you'll have to apply. Again, it will depend on requirement, but here first we applied a join, we got 1300 rows, then applied a filter clause on the category name, the search got narrowed to 24 rows. Then again I tried to do a further analysis, and again I found out, okay, this can be like again filtered on this pattern matching, and that's how I got the result. Okay, so this is like a unit kind of like initially we write some queries and test, and based on the requirement, okay, cool, so I got this. Now this query which I have framed, okay, so that actually needs to be passed to your Sqoop ecosystem, which is a data ingestion, okay, so which will fetch the data from your MySQL database, okay, or any database like Oracle or Microsoft SQL Server. Again, what your source systems are, it will be depending on that. So I'll try to pass this SQL query to my Sqoop command. Okay, so let me start building my Sqoop command. Again, it has few parameters and arguments, okay, don't worry about that. So let's say Sqoop import. Now we have import and export. Again, let's not go into those things. Okay, here for now I will be doing everything in a hard-coded way. Once I complete this hard-coded implementation, then we will try to parameterize and automate it. Okay, so that's why I said like we might continue this demo tomorrow also, because it may not be able to write the complete script. Okay, so let me connect. Okay, so using a JDBC connection, so I'm trying to connect to a MySQL database. For now, I am trying to connect on a local host. In projects, you will be getting your cluster name or your host name of your cluster. The default port number of your database of MySQL is 3306. Okay, so the other databases like Oracle 1521, 3389, everyone has their own default ports assigned. I am trying to use a retail database. And this is just a line suppressing character. Okay, so I'm writing my Sqoop command on multiple lines, hence I'm trying to remove the new line significance character. So that's why I'm using backspace. Otherwise, what you can do is you can write entire command in a single line. It's how you write the code. So here the username, okay, is root. The password, okay, again this needs to be encrypted in projects, but here I'll just try to, for the time being, I'll just try to hard code it. So it's like welcome 123. Okay, good till here. Now we have written one query, remember a little above. So we have just written a query. So what I'll do, I'll copy that entire query. Okay, so this is the query which we tested and it was working on the data. So what I'm trying to do, just paste this over here. Okay, and again like this may complain us, because again like this is going, because again I'll have to, let me just take this so that no suppressing errors or line errors. So if you see, it's now highlighted to a single row. Now when it comes to whenever we write the SQL queries in Sqoop command, okay, Sqoop uses the internal, or at the backend it uses, or it inherits the distribution parallelism of MapReduce, okay, to process or ingest the data in parallelly. So to do that, okay, here we need to pass a dummy condition, and that's like, again, it has like a certain significance. I'll tell you later. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to add a dummy condition. So this is like a placeholder. Okay, what it does is it takes that, and based on the data it tries to split the data based on the 4 parallel default number of parameters. Default number of splits are 4, so that's like how the data gets divided. And for that it needs this placeholder whenever you are trying to write SQL like queries. Okay, cool. And finally what I'll try to do is, okay, so this data would be written to your HDFS system or HDFS. Okay, so I'll just, by default it gets written to your user's home directory, but here I'm trying to write to a specific location. So what I'll do is I'll try to write to a certain location. Okay, so don't worry about this. So this is like a, so what will happen, the entire data of this query would be written under this location in HDFS, and a directory would get created with this name. I'll show you after successful implementation. And -m1. Okay, and again, like, it has a significance why we are doing this, and again we'll see later. Let's execute this and test whether the query is working fine or not. Oh, sorry, the scoop ingestion is working fine or not. Okay, so I'm going to my first, can you see I'm under my scoop directory? Just to test, or just to show, sorry, long listing, there's nothing over here. Let me right click and paste this. Okay, and let's hit enter. Either this will get successfully completed or it will throw an error. Successfully implemented, we'll move ahead. If it gives an error, we'll have to debug the code by analyzing the logs. Let's execute this. So now what Sqoop will do is, based on the instructions, okay, whatever we have passed, now if you see, it has given us an error. Let's understand what is the error. Okay, so if you scroll up a little down, okay, so Java input, I just need to check whether did I started my Hadoop or not. That's the only thing. Preparing. Okay, so from here, SQL, you have an error in your SQL syntax. Okay, so it is telling that SQL error syntax. See, now if you see, when I executed the query, okay, the query was working fine. Okay, I was getting the output. Now when I'm trying to pass this, okay, it is giving me some issue. So let me just see. Now if you see this, okay, so this is again like passed perfectly. Okay, so this is scoop import, this is again like, this is suppressed. Okay, so -- connect, that is also suppressed. JDBC, and the username is root, and the password is welcome@123. Okay, so query is again, so where clause I have written, this is the condition which we are, okay, so that is like where I'm making a mistake. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, if you see, when it gives us the issue that your syntax is not correct. Okay, when I've written this where clause, okay, I should have added a and clause over here. Okay, because this is taken as where, and after that everything is taken like multiple. So that's like where I made a mistake. Let me copy this. Let me come back over here, clear the screen. So whenever you write the code, okay, in a notepad or wherever, so it gives you the flexibility. Okay, if some error occurs, you can simply make those changes by finding out the root cause analysis. Okay, you don't need to rewrite the code again and again. Okay, so let's see, again we are getting some error. Okay, now what it is telling is file already exists. Don't worry about this. Okay, as of now I will try to do this manually. Okay, but moving ahead we will try to parameterize, and at that moment of time I'll write all my validations and everything. Okay, so HDFS DFS -rm -r. So I'm just trying to remove this directory for the time being. Okay, so as of now I'm trying to do manually. Okay, don't worry. So once we complete this successful ingestion, we'll start parameterizing slowly, and we'll build a good shell script by tomorrow end. Okay, so let it get executed. Okay, don't worry, this is my VM error, end of exception. So but if you see now, most of the things are running fine, so it means like small issues came, but again like that have been corrected. Now if you see a map reduce job is a job ID is getting assigned, and again like lots of things happen behind this. Okay, so I'll try to see later that I'll not invest time in that. So as of now, if you see, now your job is running. Okay, map reduce job is running, so this will take a little time based on the data. Okay, let it get completed. If you see, two records are being written. Now where these two records are written, okay, do we remember, like, okay, so let me just go over here so that I'll document everything. Okay, so let's copy the path. Remember this is the location we created, so let's quickly copy this hdfs dfs hyphen ls, and let me quickly paste this. I'll copy this and paste this and execute this. So we'll have a directory created by this name, and we'll have a part file. Okay, and under this part file, okay, you should have the data what we have done, data ingestion. So quickly what I'll, okay, so let me simply do a cat and paste this, and let's hit enter. Okay, I'm able to see my two records, okay, which were needing. Okay, so this is like a very simple thing what we have done. We are able to ingest the data, okay, manually, okay, not parameterization. So this, if you see the first thing here, we have successfully implemented. Okay, so this is completed. Now second point what they're saying is create an external table. Okay, that's what I said. Like if you remember at the beginning, when we ingest the data, we try to write analytical queries using Hive. Okay, so Hive is again is a data summarization ecosystem, okay, which gives us the flexibility, okay, to write analytical queries on large data sets, which is stored in HDFS. So what I'll do is, okay, quickly, okay, I'll focus on the second one. So it is asking me to create the table. Yes, we'll do that. Okay, and the third one is shell script, and that's where the automation will start. Okay, so let's focus on the solution second now. Again, manually. I'm not asking about like, so before that, okay, so where were we? Yeah, so I think we were here. So I think we'll have to have these column names, right? So this is okay, cool. So let's go like, so again, like if you are coming from your any like database background, it is similar to that. The only thing is few concepts gets changed here and there. Okay, so I'll just try to create an external table. What is the external table? Manage table, and again like it has some significance. I'm pushing the data to my staging. Okay, so again like we have the concept of like staging, again different things, so I'll not peep into that. And here I need to pass all the column names. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll simply copy all these columns whatever I have written in this query, because based on that, okay, my table should get ready, right? Okay, so I'll just need to remove this alias. So this category ID, the data type I'll try to assign as integer. Then I have a category name in which I'll have the data of like string. Then I'll have product price, which will have the data of integer. Product image, okay, so product image I guess should be like string. And this, okay, so this is not needed. So I think like I copied this a little extra. Apologies for that. Okay, so these are the columns which I will require. Now, when it comes to Hive, okay, Hive, again, like it has few extra parameters. So I'll just trying to write those parameters. And what I'm trying to say is row format delimited, fields terminated by comma. Okay, that's one thing I would need it. And finally, there are two methods. Either I can point to this location so that I don't need to execute my load command, or else you can create the table like this and you can implement execute your load command to push the data from this to this, however you want to do. I'll go with the location because that's how we generally do in projects. So I'll point to this. Okay, so apology. So let me copy this create statement. Let's copy this simple create table statement. Let me go to Hive. Okay, if you just see there are no tables, let me paste this. Again, it will either throw me an error or the table will get created. Okay, so the table got created. I'll just quickly execute a simple select query on the table which we just created in Hive summarization ecosystem tool. Okay, so select all the records. Okay, the database name is nothing but again, even if you don't give, because we are already in that database, but ideally we give the accomplished, like fully qualified path. Okay, so we generally make use of this. So retail underscore database, and my table name is nothing but stage FM, and let me just see few records. Anyhow, it has only 2 records. Okay, so let's see. So this is now trying to point to your HDFS. If I would have omitted this location, okay, before, like while creating this, I would have got like an extra piece of work to push the data from this location to this table with a load command. Okay, that would have been an extra burden, but again, like I just omitted it. So this is also good. Okay, so I think we so I have already copied this, so we are good with the second part also. Okay, so that looks good. So data ingestion is done. Okay, and the table creation is done. Cool. So this is like the first part we completed. Now this is the second part we completed. This is the first part which we completed, okay, from year to year and year to year manually. That's how we do development. What we do is, at the early stage, first we develop the code as per the requirement. Are we getting the results or not? Okay. Once we get the result as per the requirements, then we start thinking on parameterization, how to automate things, okay, and if required, performance optimization. Okay, so as the experience grows, you will learn all these things. Okay, and already you will be working professionals in your different horizons, and you will be knowing these kind of things. So in dev environment, okay, not in one go you write the code and you achieve all the things. It's always like trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, and then you reach to the final destination. That's what I'm trying to show you today and tomorrow. Okay, cool. Let's start automating this. So if you see this third one, what it is saying, all above should be in shell script, okay, with parameterization and also error handling. And that's where like we'll do some error handling, like validations. Okay, cool. So if I go to my third way, okay, so this is like under my scripts directory. If I do long listing, okay, so there are lots of scripts, but I'll try to create a new script over here. Okay, and we'll try it. So what I'll do is I'll document everything. So let's say this is the solution 3 which we are starting. Okay, so that once we come tomorrow, I don't have to waste time in like again finding or rewriting the code again. Now, whatever we have done manually in 2 steps. We need to build a shell script, okay, which will do your work end to end by just doing a execution of one script. That's it. And that's what we are building it over here. Okay, cool. So I'll try to create a script, okay, and I'll say like it's a demo import, and let's give this name as Sqoop and Hive. Okay, and I'll say .sh. So this will be the script name which I would be creating. Let me just bring it a little up. Cool. So I'll just try to write my shebang statement. Okay, and I will be placing this under bin bash. Okay, now whatever code we have written a little while earlier, I'll simply copy, okay, and I'll simply paste it. This is not the final version, okay, I need to do a lot of work on this. I'm just starting it. What I'm trying to do is whatever we have written, okay, earlier, so I'm just trying to pass it over here. That's it, nothing else. Okay, so this is your first step. So what I'll do is let me copy the Control C, and let's say VI, this will be my I for insert. Okay, copy this entire, sorry, I missed this. Copy this entire thing, Control C, and paste this. Okay, escape, save and quit. Now if I try to do LL, anything starting with D, so I should get my script. Okay, so it does not have an executable permission. So quickly I'll try to give an executable permission to my user. Okay, I can do that also. Okay, and let's do that. Quickly do ll, so I have my executable permission. Okay, you could have gone for 777 also. Okay, again, like how you write the code. Okay, cool. So now I will be executing this now. Okay, so script execution. So this is for creation of the script, but entire work execution I'll do it from here. But I'll have to remove the directory because the directory is already available. So yeah, cool. So let me just document this over here. Okay, so how will I execute this script? Okay, in a debugging mode, that is X. If you want to add a verbose debugging, you can do that. Again, there are lots of parameters. Where is the script available? I need to give the absolute path. Okay, so at this location, Control Shift C, Control Shift V, copy this till here, Control C, and paste this. Okay, and yeah, let's come back to and let's execute this. Okay, so if you see earlier, still now it is not parameterized, but yes, we have just started the process. So let me execute this first. Okay, so it will get executed because it is tested until unless, yeah, I just missed this to remove this SSL exception. Maybe like I'll add that SSL exception. See, again, these kind of errors, issues you will get. Okay, so you will get these kind of issues, errors. Again, you need to understand like how you can tackle them, how you can identify them, and how you can clean up them. Okay, so I just need to fix. Can you see who is not on mute? Okay, if you see, we are getting the same result. Okay, let's quickly verify. So hdfs. Oh, I'll just run my previous commands. Yeah, so my life will be a little easy. Can you see? I'm able to see the output. Okay, so a vanilla, when I have just created a vanilla or just a draft script, okay, which has the exact scoop data ingestion command. Okay, cool. Now let's come over here. So this is the thing, and again we need to add the second part also of Hive creation table, but gradually we will do. Don't worry, we'll do everything step by step. Cool. Now what I will show you is what generally we do is we don't keep the queries over here. We keep these queries at particular location, okay, and we call those through some argument. Okay, that is what I'll try to do. Second thing what I'll try to do is, okay, maybe like if you see this password is like, again, like if you see, I'll keep this password also in a file. Okay, so two things I'll try to do over here. I'll try to remove the password. I'll keep that password in a password file. That is the first thing. Second thing is the SQL query, what I have written is, okay, again, I'll keep this in some file and I'll call these two things in my script. That's what I'm trying to do over here. Okay, cool. So what we will do is, let's go. We have configuration scripts. Okay, so let me come back one step back. Okay, and I think there should be some, I think I should like maybe like config. We can create that query file over here also, or else let me just come one step back and let me see what are the directories available. So I have my scripts, I have my logs which we'll require tomorrow. Okay, so we have config. Okay, let's do one thing. So this SQL query, or what I can do is simply create a directory with the name of, let's say, HQL to be precise. Okay, yeah, and let me just navigate to HQL. So what I'll do is I'll keep that query file over here, okay, and I'll try to call that. So let me do one thing. Let me copy the SQL query, okay, and let me come over here. So let's give that file name something called, let's say, query.txt. Okay, and we just need to pass this query argument over there, and I'll paste this entire query over here, and we need to pass a semicolon, nothing else. It's the same thing. Okay, The only thing I'm just like hitching about is I think we need to remove this, but again it will give us an error. We'll try to troubleshoot and we'll kill it, but again, like I am assuming, like I'm able to perfectly recall that should be skipped. So let me quickly copy this SQL query. Okay, sorry, HQL query. I'll just name this as query.txt. I'll go for insert and I'll simply paste this. Okay, and let's quickly save and quit. Just for, again, it's not needed, but let's give it. Okay, so my first thing is done. What? I have removed this, okay, from my scoop command. That's the first thing. Now I need to remove this. So what I need to do is, okay, so I have this, let me come one step back and let me go to config directory. Okay, and here what I'll try to do is I'll try to suppress the new line character with a -n, and the password is nothing but the password is welcome@123, and I'll try to write this into a .pwd file. And if I just want to see that file, how it looks like, this file looks like, which has my password. Cool. So two things how I suggested. So we have done that. Let's make these changes in scripts. Let me go to my script. Okay, let me go to, and let's go to the insert mode. The first change I need to do over here. Yeah, here. So I need to remove this. Don't worry, we'll parameterize this. So in place of password, so we need to use password file. What we need to use? We need to use password file. Okay, and we need to pass the location from where the password file is kept. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to pass the location. So I guess it's located at, I think, config location, right? Yeah, so this is at this location. So let's quickly copy this and let's quickly paste this. I generally try to do copy paste just to avoid the typo errors which we get. Okay, so that's like a good practice which you need. Again, it will come by experience. Okay, so that's it. So let's go. Username is, again, like I'll do this later, but yeah, that looks good to me. So hyphen username hyphen password file, all looks good. The only thing which is like troubling me, do I need to give this file colon, because here I can see this is marking in yellow color. Okay, so that's like giving me a small alarm that there will be something in issue, but let's face the error and let's remove this query. Okay, so let's remove this entire thing because we would be referencing this from a file again. Okay, so let's यहाँ तक निकाल दे. Okay, so there is another argument which says we need to say options file. Okay, so that is at home Saif, I think LFS, and we created HQL, right? So HQL and the file name is query.txt. Okay, we'll go step by step. So that's why I said like today it will be a little impossible for me to complete the entire parameterization and error handling, and that's why we'll continue tomorrow. So here if you see this is the first change what I have done, and this is the second change I have done. Okay, let's save and quit. Quickly I'll just remove the directory. This also I'll try to do error handling tomorrow by applying some validations in shell script. Cool. Let's execute the script again. Okay, so this is the script. So let's copy this and let's paste this. Either it will complete, and again I missed that exception. That's okay. So if you see, it is stopping us. What it is telling us, okay, the password file, okay, see, I was just like a little like concerned. So that's like how alarm you get, and that comes by experience, don't worry. So we'll do both the changes. Let me go back to the script again. Let's go to insert mode. The first change what I wanted is, it is expecting this because that file was not available that it was saying. So it is like home Saif, right? So let's do a quick check. Yeah, home Saif LFS CFG. Okay, and the file name is still, it is like highlighted, but let's see what happens. That is the first thing. And the second thing is that exception I don't want, so that's why like I just need to use SSL equals to false. Okay, so this is like still troubling me. Okay, so let's save and quit. Let's come over here, let's press up arrow and execute the script. Cool, so things are going good. So 2 steps we have progressed, and yeah, beautiful. So it is going to your map reduce program. It means whatever we have done the changes by referencing the query file and by referencing the password, things are looking good for us, and that's a good sign to proceed. Okay, if you want to do a cat of your data, you can do the same thing again. Cool, we are able to see the same output. Okay, now let's start. So we have a vanilla script ready. Okay, this is a vanilla script. Now we will start slowly and steadily parameterizing this. Okay, I'm not sure how much far I can reach, but wherever I reach we'll stop there, and tomorrow again we'll continue. So let's start parameterizing this, because we need to parameterize everything. We need to create tables. We just need to execute this script. It should extract the data, dump the data into HDFS, create your tables in Hive, and we should be able to see in one go. Okay, that's what our aim is. Okay, so let me just scroll a little down. Okay, and let's start parameterizing it. Parameterization. Cool, so what I will do is okay, so let's parameterize all the parameters. Okay, so this is the area where I'll try to create one file. Okay, and let's say that file name is param.cfg. Okay, and I'll go to the insert mode. Now what I'll try to do is sorry, so database name, the host name, the port number, the database, everything, whatever I can put it into a file, I'll try my best to parameterize it, so that once your code gets deployed to your production, you don't need to bring your code back to the dev again. You just make some changes in your files, and those files get deployed to your prod. Okay, and your code get executed seamlessly, until unless it's a major change that your code needs to be brought up to your dev. Again it depends. So let's start. Okay, so what is the name we have given? I think param.cfg. Param.cfg. So here let's start. Okay, so the first thing is, okay, so I'll just give this. So this is, I'll say this is the database. Okay, so database is nothing but MySQL. Okay, cool. Then localhost. Okay, so what I'll say is that is host name. Okay, and can you see I'm not giving any spaces? So when we are writing the variables in scripts, you don't need to pass a space in between to and fro. Okay, otherwise it will not pick up your variable values. Okay, so I'll try to provide localhost, but actually in the projects you'll have your endpoint of your cluster. Okay, so that is done. Even if you want to get your port number, let's bring that port number also, that is 3306. What if like in prod, like you're pointing to Oracle database, just change it 1521 and the name of this file, and still your code will work. That's how your code should be generic. Okay, so let's give DB name over here. That is nothing but retail underscore database. Okay, so let's give the username also. So now username will be coming from this file, that is root. Password, again, if you remember a little while earlier, we did encrypt, means like we did took this. So let me just copy this so that I can refer there only again and again in place of coming back. So let me just paste this over here, and let me just scroll a little down. Okay, cool. So username root is done. Again, this path, so I don't want this part to be over here, so I'll just say this is my password file, or you can just say password also, no issues. Okay, Then I'll go for output directory. If you remember this directory we were getting like, so I'll just copy this and I'll keep it over here. Okay, that's your output directory. And this again, like I'll try to use my command line arguments, but as of now, okay, so let me just remove this and we'll use one argument that is called table name, and here I'll try to pass the table name that is NFL. Okay, then what is there? So this is okay, options file, so we need to pick that also. So let's take query file. Okay, and I'll just straight away copy this home save query.txt just to avoid typos. And I think target directory we have copied. I think like most of the things are done. Okay, so what we need to do is I'll just quickly copy this and paste it over here. We just need to reference the variables in shell scripting. Okay, we just reference the variables, okay, using a dollar symbol. Okay, so I'll just quickly copy this and into my flower braces. This is as simple as that. Okay, let me just do this changes everywhere. Let's go for this as well. Let's go for database also. And this section is only for my virtual machine, so I'm getting a issue of that. So let's copy the username. Let's copy the password over here. So this needs to be removed completely. That's password file. Okay, here we'll get the query file. Where is the query file? Here we have the query file. So let's change this also. Okay, and finally the output directory. So let me copy this. This is still here. Output directory will come. And table name, yeah, table name is here. So I just need to pass my table name. Okay, so this is the first step of parameterization. Okay, so let me quickly copy these parameters. Okay, let me go to the config area, right click, paste, save and quit. Parameters are done. Let's come to the script. So how many lines are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6. I'll delete like in one go. So yeah, that's gone. So just let's start documenting it. So let's say this is scoop data ingestion. Okay, so let's copy the parameterized scoop command now. Okay, let's paste this. Now if you see, the parameters are over here. Okay, how this script will understand that parameters are kept over there. Okay, so for that we need to source, or we need to call that. Okay, so in Unix, okay, either we call it as source, okay, or else like in programming language you say call parameters. Anyhow you need to say. Okay, so we press a single dot, okay, and we try to give the location. So just quickly copy the location. Quickly copy, Control Shift C. Let me paste this, and the file name is param.cfg. Now if you see, when we started, everything was hard coded. Don't worry, this is also hard coded, but again moving ahead will change. But at least like this, I don't see anything. Okay, so let me save and quit this. Let me quickly remove the directory. Again we'll do data validations and data handling error later if time permits. I am sure like it will go to tomorrow. So where is the script execution? Again we have that. So let's go back and let's execute this. There are two scenarios. Either this will get successfully completed or it will throw an error. As simple as that. So it is getting executed. Looks good till here. Once I see the map reduce job, okay, till that time, like yeah, the job is getting allocated, job ID is assigned, so it means like we are good till the first step of parameterization. Yeah, map reduce job got started. So the first step of parameterization, what we have done, okay, is looking good to us. Cool, at least like. So let's see, where are we? Yeah, if you see, two records got successfully implemented, successfully written to HDFS. And if we try to just verify using a cat command, we should be able to see the data. Okay, and we are able to see the data. Cool. So we have reached till here. Okay, so mostly like again like it has like many more things. Okay, so what I'll try to do is let's complete one step. Okay, so let's complete one more step because we have like maybe like, or let's complete one step quickly. I'll just try to pass the table names, and if you see, let me go back. Okay, if you see this, let me just maximize this so that you can see the script. Now if you see this, okay, so here, okay, sorry, in the script I should have it in the script. So let me say cat of demo. Now if you see this, we are like, again, this I will try to, it's not a good idea. Okay, what if like tomorrow I want to change from, let's say, not I don't want to use these tables, but what if like I want to use other tables? Okay, then what will happen? So again, like it's not again like a good idea to give the table name hard coded over here. Okay, and that's where like we'll again like pass your table name through a concept called command line argument. Okay, so let's quickly do these two changes, and I think we are good then. So maybe like I can stop and take your questions. So let's do these two steps. Okay, cool. So the first step is I need to go in my config file, and I need to go to the insert mode. I need to comment this out. Okay, the reason for that is this table name I'll pass through a command line argument. Let's save and quit. That's the first step. Let's come to the script. Yeah, beautiful. Let's go to the script. Okay, so again like this I will try to pass through a something. Okay, and what is that something? We'll see that. Okay, so let's do a comment of this. Okay, so here I'll try to parameterize that also. Okay, I'll just give I'll just give that name, let's say param file. Okay, equals to, and here I'm trying to pass one, that is called $1. Okay, so $1, $2, $3. Okay, this is the way with which like I can pass all the things over here. Okay, so the first parameter is like your the file, which is the parameter file. So I don't want to keep it hard coded. Okay, whatever the file name in the dev environment, UAT environment, or prod environment, I just change during the runtime, and it will get executed successfully, and it will pick the right file from the right environment. That is the first step. Second step is, okay, so if you remember like this variable, okay, so table name, let me quickly copy this and let me paste this over here. Okay, and I will say this as 2. Okay, so and I need to source this, right? So I just missed that, so I need to source that also, right? So I need to, sorry, param file. Okay, so I will pass during a command line argument, which will get allocated to this, and that will be sourced during the runtime. So that's the first step, and this is the second step. Okay, cool. So those are the two changes which we have done. Okay, when it comes to script, okay, so let's stay, where are we? Okay, so I think like I don't think so much of the changes we need to do, because we have kept the same name. That looks good to me. Okay, let's save and quit. Okay, let me quickly let me quickly remove the file. Okay, now while executing the script, okay, so this is my $0. The script which we execute, or the file, that is termed as $0. After that, if you remember, we have passed this as a $1 parameter. So this config file name, I'll pass this. So that will be my first parameter, space. Second parameter is my table name, that is NFL. Okay, okay, NFL. Maybe like if you have more parameters, you can just write third parameter, fourth parameter, fifth parameter, you can keep adding. Okay, that's how it goes. Okay, let's hit this again. Two scenarios, either it will succeed or it will fail, nothing beyond that. Okay, so looks good. So command line arguments are working for us. Okay, beautiful. So let this get completed and then I'll stop the recording and then I'll start taking question answers, and the remaining part of this, like adding the Hive, the error handling, the log file creation and the end-to-end script. So tomorrow we'll try to complete in the remaining. So we'll take it from here only. So just want to show the data. We should have 2 rows or 2 records to be precise. Yes, we are good till here. Okay, so far till here we have reached and everything is looking good to us. Okay, so I'm still here only. Okay, I have not touched this part, and still here also I need to make many changes, and just due to time constraint I'll just take this tomorrow, so you'll have 2 recordings. So I'm stopping this recording